Women are natural born investors, so men, it's time to sit down because this is a job for the ladies. Now, if you've never invested before, the first thing you need to do is get a brokerage account. This is what's going to let you buy the investment. Personally, I use the app Public, but some other platforms that are really popular are Fidelity, Charles Schwab, and Vanguard. Now, there are two main types of investments that you can buy. And first, we're going to talk about ETFs. ETFs are a ton of single stocks, like Meta and Apple combined together, so you aren't dependent on just how one company does. For example, the Vanguard S&P 500 is made up of the leading 500 companies, and is generally considered safer and less risky. On average, investing your money into the S&P 500 will double every 7 years. So if you put $1,000 into the S&P 500 today, it would turn into roughly $2,000 in 7 years if you never touch it again. And listen, I don't know about you, but I want my money working for me instead of me working for my money. You might be like, Brie, blah, blah, blah. That sounds good. What do I actually do? Let's say I had $1,000. Here's exactly the ETFs that I would invest it in. First would be the Vanguard S&P 500, and I would put $300 into that ETF. You guys already know all about that one. You're pros now. Then I would take another $400 and put that into the VXUS, which is an international ETF. Because you guys, I do not want my money only tied to the US market. I want my money, just like me, to go international. Because I have 70% of my investment already tracking how the market is doing, I would invest my last $300 into a mid-cap index fund. Like this one here, which is called VOT. Mid-cap tracks, well, exactly that, mid-sized companies that have a ton of room to grow. They're still generally safe because they're not this little tiny business that's going to be going out of business potentially, but they're not as big as like a Meta or a Google, so they still have a ton of room to grow. So I like a little bit of my money going here because we want to be diverse. Now, the other thing that you can do is invest into individual stocks. Think Meta, Ulta, Gap. Now, this is riskier because let's say Gap has a bad quarter. Maybe they're hit with tariffs. Maybe Zach Posen leaves. The stock will likely drop and so will your money. Picking individual stocks is very similar to gambling because you're betting that a specific company is going to be going up. Now, personally, your girl, I do a 50-50 split, but that's only because in another life I was a day trader. Now, if you're like Brie, I just want to put my money somewhere, I want to not think about it, and then I want to open up my app or my brokerage account and I just want to see more money, then just put your money into ETFs. And you will likely get a better return than some of these finance bros out here. Just saying. Saying always goes, it is not about timing the market, i.e. don't worry about putting your money in on the perfect day or the perfect time, but instead time in the market, i.e. girl, what are you doing? Go invest your money. And once you put your money in, don't touch it. Because to truly see these big, juicy returns that we're looking for, it will likely take a few years. And ladies, just remember, hot girls invest in 2025.